Welcome to Real Estate Marketing for Agents. Today we are talking about why you need a real estate listing process as part of your business. And yes, I did say need. I'm Amber Hall with Real Estate Listing Masters, and you're going to see the benefits and why you need that real estate listing process. But stick around to the very end because I offer a bonus where I'm going to give you a glimpse into my personal listing process. And that comes with a download as well. So stick with us through the very end to get a glimpse into my personal process, but let's jump right into the benefits of having a real estate listing process and why you need one in your business. Number one, you need a real estate listing process because it will save you time. We all have processes, also known as routines, that we do every single day. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you grab a cup of coffee, you walk the dogs, you get the kids out the door for school. Whatever your routine in the morning is actually your process. And some of those things, like brushing your teeth, don't even require any thought or effort on your part at all. You just do it. And while you're doing it and completing it, you're thinking about, today I need to do this and this and this and this and this. Because you have your process dialed down and your body and your mind know exactly what you need to do next. So it's going to save you time when you have a process and you know step by step what needs to happen and what comes next. Number two, it's going to save you energy. Yep, it's going to give you some of that energy back. And who couldn't use more energy, especially in this hustle and bustle world that we live in today? When you brush your teeth in the morning, going back to this example, and you just do it, you don't even think about it. That thought process can go into other things. You can use that energy in other areas of your life that need more attention, that need more thinking, that need more of your energy, okay? Next, you're going to have better organization with a process. When you have a process and you know step one is listing the property and step two is marketing the property and step three is continuing to market the property and how you're going to make changes until you receive a contract, you now can go through this process without even thinking about it. And when you have that listing process, you can better communicate with your clients. You can do more follow-ups and get more clients. You can stay on top of the tasks that need your time, your attention, and your energy more efficiently and more effectively. Next up is ease through obstacles, okay? I'm human. Things pop up. Kids get sick. Clients need help. Inspections don't go right. These things are out of our control that we cannot always plan for. So when an obstacle pops up, but you have a process in place, you can jump over here and work through that obstacle and then more easily be able to come back and know that things are taken care of or where you need to start from and where you left off from because your process is already in place. Now, when we talk about these obstacles that come up, sometimes they're necessary for our growth and for our development. Sometimes they're things we just need to get through in a transaction that aren't going to stay with us forever and ever and ever. But when we have our process and we now have given ourselves more time, more energy to work through these things, better organization to be able to identify and work through and come back to more easily, we now can identify and improve our weak spots. Now, going back to those obstacles that might pop up that are out of our control, but manageable because we have a process in place and we now can more easily know that either something is already taken care of or how we can jump out for a minute and where to jump back into. We know where we left off and what we need to start back up with again because our process is already in place. When obstacles pop up, we can handle those and we can move on. But sometimes in our process, those obstacles identify a weak spot. And now we can more easily identify and improve our weak spots. And that is where the growth and the magic happens in our processes to make things even more smooth, even more efficient, and just a part of our natural everyday life. Okay. Now, we've saved time, we've saved energy, we have better organization, we are easing our obstacles, we're identifying and improving our weak spots, and all of this now becomes replicatable. Is that even a word? Replicatable, replicable. One of those is a word, but replicatable I love and I use in my business every single day. So you can adopt it too. These processes become replicatable. I can now take this process and know that I have a new project I'm working on, or I have a new client that I'm working with, and the same process is going to go into effect for this new project or client or whatever the case may be. And then I can make the tweaks to it that I need to. I can make it adaptable, and I can identify those areas that need to change just a little bit. When we have a replicatable process, it's going to save us massive amounts of time from starting over and going, okay, what's next? Now, once I do this, what do I want to do here? We already know what's working and where we might need to make some tweaks, and we can move forward and do all of those things in this replicatable process, okay? Now, the big thing here is that when all of these things work together and you have the synergy going, and it does take time. You can't just wake up one day and have a process that just works smooth and seamlessly. It takes time. You have to start somewhere. You have to start with getting a listing agreement and knowing what happens after you get that listing agreement. But once you work through a process a couple of times and now it's improved and you can start using it in all areas of your business, this is where the magic happens. This is where growth happens. This is where development happens. And this is where you be able to become free and available to accomplish all of your goals and dreams and things that you want in your life. That could be spending more time with family and friends. This could be developing a new hobby or interest. This could be growing your business exponentially. This could be bringing on team members. You see where I'm going with this, that really when you have a process in place and you have more time and more energy and more organization and you are jumping over obstacles like it is no problem at all, you can replicate these processes and now you can grow and you really can become unstoppable. Now, I hinted at the beginning that there is a bonus addition to this video where I give you a glimpse into my listing process, and let's dive into that right now. My listing agreement is what triggers my listing process, okay? Getting that agreement signed triggers three things. Number one, I do a property walkthrough with the clients. Number two, we're going to talk about getting the stager scheduled. And number three, it triggers my team to start working on property reports, more in-depth information into the property. Now, I'm going to do a walkthrough immediately because I'm already at the property getting that agreement signed, and we're going to walk through together and make recommendations. These are the seller's homework and action items that they can begin doing immediately until the stager can come. But it's also an open conversation of when you think you'll be ready for the stager to come so that we can get that scheduled. So I walk through with them, and this is a light overview of cleaning out closets and organizing things, what's going to make the move, what can be packed up right now. About 80% of things can usually be packed up until they're ready to be moved and at the new property. Now, scheduling the stager, 9 times out of 10, the stager is going to be coming and just doing a consultation, working with my sellers on what they already have in the property. This is not typically bringing in furniture and extra items to stage the property, but it's an equally critical piece because it helps my sellers go more in depth into the organizing and getting the property ready to sell, because the stager makes recommendations as well on how to move furniture and where to put things so that it opens up the space and lets maximum light. Deep cleaning is another thing on the list, typically between me and the stager as well. So we have an open conversation now about when the stager can be scheduled, and then once the stager comes, how long it's going to take until we can actually list the property. Now, I mentioned in there that the third trigger point in getting that listing agreement signed is starting to hone in on property reports. I don't come into a property saying we can sell your house for X amount. I come in with a range and I say, it's going to take some time, typically, to get the property ready to sell. And so we are going to begin watching your property specifically, but in the meantime, this is where properties are selling for in your area. If that's an agreeable range and we move forward on that, then they know that we're going to hone in and I'm going to provide for them very specific details on what their property can sell for and what other properties are doing from the time that we sign that agreement until we actually go on the market. Very, very rarely do I go into somebody's home and they're ready to list in 5 days. And so this is a critical step to really hit that mark heavy and get them the most value for their property. And that is what is on every seller's mind. Now, once the stager comes, that lets us be able to set a timeline of when the seller feels like the photographer, the videographer, and the listing date can be scheduled for, okay? I know that once the photographer and videographer come, I need a minimum of 7 days for getting the property on the market. I need those pictures to come back. I need videos to be edited and turned into marketing pieces. And then we're gonna need time to also get all of those pieces in the right places and finalized and ready for launch day. So once we schedule the stager, we can have that conversation after the stager comes of when they're gonna be ready for list date. List date becomes 7 days out from list date is when we now can identify our live launch process. Now, live launch process, I know is going to happen on a Wednesday evening or a Thursday morning. That is when I list properties for maximum exposure, and all of these things we talk about in our in-depth training and coaching that I offer around listing process and getting more referrals from your listings, okay? So this process I know is a funnel that's going to directly lead into all of these events and details that are going to happen and funnel and trickle down into all of these other processes. Okay, with our live launch process, we have 3 items there. We have our print marketing, we have our digital marketing, and we have our open house marketing. And all of these components have their own sub-processes that go with them, but we know that those are going to be triggered with our live launch. And so when we have our live launch date, all of these items need to be in place and ready to go and ready to be executed. Okay, live launch has come and gone, and now we are in our follow-up marketing process. Our follow-up marketing process includes weekly reports and communications and weekly marketing campaigns. Now that we have a contract and our contract process is triggered, we have a communication flow that is going to be going out to our clients based on contract dates, as well as here's what to expect next, and that carries us through closing. Now, after closing, we have our post-closing process as well, and that triggers our communications where they get updated newsletters and information. We do our happy anniversary dates on selling your property. This might also include if they bought another property, the happy anniversary in your new property. It can include a myriad of things. All of that is dialed into the post-closing process so that we continue the conversations so that this client has become a client for life and not just for one transaction. And now we see them more frequently at our client events, check-ins. If we have market updates available for them, they're going to get notification on that. And it creates more touch points and opportunities for us to also be able to receive referrals. So you can see how a process can become very powerful and how a process can trigger another process, and so on and so forth, because many of these things need a lot of time and attention. My closing process is going to look very different than my marketing process, and it has different people involved. So by having these sub-processes and having the entire thing work smooth and seamlessly together, when one component changes, if we're working with a new title company or a new lender, those pieces can be inserted seamlessly rather than having to jumble and wonder, where am I at in the process? What needs to happen and change differently? And we can also have them be a part of our communication so that everyone is working together and on the same page. We have saved time, we have saved energy, we are gaining organization and momentum to be able to move forward and to carry our business into that growth and that development stage that is awesome for anyone. Okay, hopefully this has been enlightening and helpful. Why you need a real estate listing process, not just why it's a good idea, but why you need a real estate listing process, and a glimpse into how it can benefit you like it has benefited me and my business to get to where it is today. If you found this information helpful, the number one thing you can do is share it with another agent. Who do you partner with? Who do you work with? Who do you synergize with that can also find value from this information? Because we are better together working as agents in our clients' best interests. And as always, you can find more information similar to this on our website, relmasters.com, where we post all of our videos, our trainings, and more information, and you can join our mailing list. I can't wait to see you there, to get to know you there, and to help you grow your business in one of our training opportunities that is right for you. Have a great day, guys.